Now, before we get into the video, don't watch Leeds United much these days. Certainly one of my favourite teams from years ago, but don't see them much. So, few wrong names throughout the video, I know that, but no doubt you can troll me in the comments if you like, but hope you enjoy. Hi, welcome to Big Mouth Football. Quite an eventful weekend. I think the Leeds Aston Villa match probably was going to be a bit of a non-event really, but probably turned out to be the talking point of the weekend. Now, I've got my own views on why I think Marcelo Bielsa did what he did. But let's we'll just run through it first. What happened? I mean, it started off with a challenge between Liam Cooper and Jonathan Kodjo on the halfway line. You can look into the tackle. Personally, strong tackle, but could have gone either way. I think the Aston Villa forward was looking for the free kick. The Leeds defender ploughed through him. Normally, the rule of the book is if it's not a head injury, then the game carries on. It's simple as that. If you ask any referee, if it's a head injury, then the game stops. If not, you carry on. So Leeds were in their full right to carry on and play forward. Aston Villa were quite obviously looking for the free kick, but the Leeds forward Tyler Roberts took the ball on down the left hand side. He was a little bit sneaky, I thought. He tried to pretend to put the ball out. I think he was not sure what to do, but eventually he put a pass down the left hand side of the Villa side to Matthias Klich, I think it is, the Polish midfielder. He then cuts inside the penalty area, scores a lovely goal. Half the Aston Villa team are playing on, half are not. So you got a problem there. I think everything happened then. You could see there'll be plenty of videos on YouTube. If you look, there's players pushing and shoving and shirts being tugged, lots of cuddling going on, lots of eye to eye conversations going on. If you look at the touchline, John Terry, at one point was eye to eye with Bielsa, and you could say, I think if John Terry went eye to eye with me, I think I'd probably give them a goal back. But I don't think that's why Bielsa did it. We'll come to that in a minute. Why I think he did. But the game proceeded. The two Aston Villa players that kicked off were allowed to walk the ball through, apart from one Leeds defender, Johansson, who really didn't want anything to do with it. He's going to be in trouble today with his manager. He'll probably pretend he couldn't understand what he was saying, because Bielsa can't understand a word the players are saying. So if you were Johansson or Janssen, you would use that as your excuse. The ball, I think it was, I'm trying to see, Albert Adomar for Aston Villa walked the ball into the net, and there was a certain amount of disbelief as to what was going on. I think morally everybody thought it was the right thing to do. Legally, by the rules of the book, Leeds could have just carried on, scored the goal and stuck two fingers up. Now, there's all sorts of discussion as to whether Bielsa was trying to repair the reputation for Spygate earlier on in the season. Possibly. Who knows? But I think Bielsa, he's a crafty manager. He pretty much knew Leeds were going to be in the playoffs, and I think he wanted a sense of everybody's against us. It's not fair. A little bit like Jose Mourinho used to do in his early Chelsea days. He used to have the world against him, and he used to complain that Chelsea were hated and nobody liked Chelsea, and it was unfair about Chelsea, and all of that, and that built that team spirit in the dressing room, that we're together, we stick together, and we're going to prove everybody wrong. And I think there's a certain amount of Bielsa doing that here. And yes, he wanted to be seen to be doing the right thing after what happened earlier, but I really think he's been quite clever. Leeds are now going to go into the playoffs. They were heading into the playoffs on a real downer. They basically messed it up for the last few matches. They've seen Sheffield United and Norwich create a nice clear gap at the top, and they were pretty much demotivated and down in the dumps, and they needed something to grasp hold of to put that winning mentality, that motivation back into them, because it's the teams that go into the playoffs with the momentum that tend to end up winning and getting promoted. So I think for Bielsa, for me, it was a last-ditch attempt to try and grab hold of something that would allow that sense of we've been unjustly seen to here, we've done the right thing, everybody's against us, let's go out and prove them wrong. We'll see. Be an interesting playoff, particularly if Leeds and Aston Villa play at Wembley in the final. I think that's going to be quite some match, but we'll see. No doubt that's another video for another day.